It's a role that Solo is very comfortable on when you try to go and make sure that you have some safety during the laning phase to get to that team fighting potential that you can offer, offering that engage specifically. FlyQuest now back on their side. Takui getting his pick, the Ari that we've seen him on plenty of times.
Yep, super popular roaming mid lane pick we can see here. Very good blind as far as the bans that are already out here. You can't answer LeBlanc. Vex is a possibility maybe for Maple. You could think things like Vex. He's also been very interested in Swain picks ever since he came over to North America, but let's see what it's going to be to answer. The Vex has hovered for a while, but the Lissandra is locked. Again, so much setup for this Zeri. TSM are putting a lot of faith into Instinct. Instinct has to carry the brunt of the damage for this team. Meanwhile, for FlyQuest, they've actually able to spread out the burden a lot more.
Right onto the Rift, the majority of TSM making that movement towards the top side, seeing what intel they can gather.
The TSM chants come out, but they immediately stop because they don't want to give away the sneak attack to the top lane. Everyone be quiet. Shh.
Don't tell them anything.
Meanwhile, the ward does get slipped into the back of the red pit here for FlyQuest. Keeping track of Spica, #1 on the FlyQuest list of keys to victory for this game.
Even there, a little bit of a disparity over in the top as expected with that range matchup into melee.
All right, so bottom lane, big push there for FlyQuest as we went over with the ward covering them as well. They are safe. Top side Solo making use of the extra range advantage there on Mininar, pushing up as well. And you can see that mid-jungle 2v2 that we've been looking for. Barely misses here as Spica slips in.
Yep, level 3 into the bush. They do get the early flash from Takui, which is a great resource to draw for a potential follow-up.
Yeah, great sneaking move here from Spica. Waits until Jose leaves, cues into the brush, is there to cut off Takui, and gets the flash out early. First casualty of the game, mid lane flash, a very important timer. These mid-jungle duos, again, are where a lot of the action is going to take place. TSM, though, Solo's done a lot of work on Philip.
He has. Philip fighting back a tad, and Spica warded up in the tri-bush, looking for the flank here. Goes under the tower, knocks him up, stuns him down. First blood over to Solo.
Nails the Q there, Spica, right under tower. Solo working off so much HP here, abusing this Sejuani.
Across the riverside, and you're starting to see those supports break away from their lane. Aframu making sure to hover and keep Takui safe. Johnson here might have some intel of what's happening over on the dragon side. Spica starting it up. There's a ward here as well.
Yeah, if he doesn't, okay, he just moved to the other side of dragon. If he stayed in the back of the pit, that ward would not see. But as they move over, it doesn't matter. FlyQuest aren't going to be able to do anything about it. Nice move from Spica, slipping in through the back of the dragon. So while he had started it and got it down to like 50% HP, they had no idea, had no vision on him, and TSM pick up first dragon, first blood, and first dragon. TSM looking very, very good. Newly buffed up Rift Herald, so it's a good way for them to kind of get out of this little bit of momentum that TSM had started building. Plus, by switching Johnson up to the top side, he works off one himself as well. And Jose holding the Rift Herald here. Let's see if, with the Yuumi on his back, Spica looking for it.
Finds and try a connection with JOSEDEODO, who wants to retreat to the team. Instinct with ultimate available, and all JOSEDEODO wild growth
good
targeted. Flashes over, escapes nicely, no lives lost.
Good flash. That wall has been the death of many a top laner, many a jungler, missing the thick part of the wall when they are flashing. Good stuff there from Jose. Does escape with his life, but TSM are able to push them out, get them off the map, and allow Instinct to push back. So there's no attempt at getting the Rift Herald or the first tower bonus there from FlyQuest. Nice bit of damage. We'll sacrifice a turret plate up on top side. Our AD carry is not greedy, and we are going to take this sucker on cooldown, continue our dragon stacking.
Not much that Johnson and Aframu can do from that bot side to try to contest. Too many chokes if they were to try to follow through with it. So TSM sticking to it, grabbing the second dragon here. A little
early on that smite, 48 HP on the dragon left, but Johnson not close enough to throw out his Q or anything and steal it.
A little scary.
Yeah.
Just for a moment, but all the sweat can be wiped from the foreheads of the TSM fans, as eventually it was acquired, and FlyQuest now just retreating to their original locations.
All right. It's always good to build strong habits, okay? So always try and just nail the smite at the exact HP on the objective, even if there's no pressure of someone around you.
But there's playoff pressure.
You never know. You know, build good habits, build good muscle memory.
You're all about the fundamentals, you know, work on the swing over and over again before you try to hit the ball out of the park.
Exactly. Yeah, no stray damage though, able to fly around, so nothing crazy going to happen. Looks like we do got the ping towards mid lane. FlyQuest have vision on Spica, attempting the gank in mid, but he might force it anyway.
I'm getting the work with the Everfrost to try and connect. Spica's taking a lot of tower shots, but still enough HP on the line to exit. Rift Herald getting dropped down here on the bottom side. JOSEDEODO with the summoning duties, so they will get this crash. We are pre-14 minutes. So the plates are accrued as well.
Yep, Instinct and Chime using the Yuumi ult to clear out the wave and take down the Rift Herald, but yep, those two turret plates acquired nonetheless for the Sivir. Still stacking here. They're gonna defend this. Jose's got no flash.
Going for it. Gets exhausted on the exit. Look at the burst fire from Instinct. He's on the chase down. Maple going through with the E to get the lock as well. Wild Growth is the answer. Flash forward from Instinct. They should be able to finish it off, but they end up losing their lives in the process to Kui. Charm all the way on the outskirts with Spica. He's got the 1v1 while it's the 2v2 here on the bot side to Kui. Able to make it back to the wave and the team. So now they digress. It was still a trade on both sides.
Oh man, Instinct missed one of his Qs there right at the very end. Jose gets the counter kill, actually getting the 1-for-1 for FlyQuest. So close here. TSM though, they retain their 1,000 transformed.
Which means
Solo, one of the richest people in this whole game right now.
They don't want to deal with that. They see him in Mega and they're saying Solo's got money. We want to try to play around this. That is one of the things when it comes to Gnar. We know, and Tukoi should know, that some of TSM is lurking around here on the bot side. That turret is extremely unhealthy as well.
Ooh, they got the whole squad coming.
Everybody coming in. Maple with the escape has some terrain between himself and the rest of FlyQuest. So you have to look towards where mid is coming from though. Spica still has the rest of his team to try and collapse if they establish some vision, but they don't have any against that control that still remains in Pixel.
All right, FlyQuest have taken control of the river here, of Dragon area. TSM now the ones without vision inside. And with the Rift Herald, FlyQuest easily pushed down. They get this mid-tower before the Dragon fight, looking for the pick.
Takui's going for it, gets rooted upon the entry. Spica into the backline. Takui, pop, pop, pop. We have the TP into the middle. Solo arrives. He's ready for it. Sets up the double kill for Instinct. 4 down on FlyQuest. Afro Moo on the Lulu. You can't do anything when they come for you. So TSM claim their third Drake rather off of that fight.
Yeah, and they claim more than that. TSM with the 4 kills, 3 of them going into the hands of Zeri. That is devastating for FlyQuest. Not only is this going to be a very early Dragon Soul popping up on the map for TSM in 5 more minutes, but they all under the tower. No problem for them currently.
Definitely reaching that point where it can be his time to shine in the big team fights to come. All teleports at the ready. 2 brought on the side of TSM because you've got the Lissandra as well as the Gnar. For FlyQuest, you have a bit more of that kill pressure from Takui because he had that ignite, so it's Philip that will be looking to come in if he needs to.
Yeah, and the kill pressure is here with the Horizon focus being done. This is actually a really big amount of burst on that Ahri. So again, the hope being alive there for FlyQuest in the form of picks, but right now,
Double TP, one from each team going through because they saw JOSEDEODO getting into a lot of problems, and despite the charms and everything to follow up, it's a pop of one, it's a pop of two. Sejuani's big and even bigger with a Lulu ultimate, but they still manage to slice and dice them. TSM, they find the opportunity and they take it in a similar fashion to the previous fight.
Yeah, they take that hope and they dash it against the rocks. Goodbye, FLYQUEST. TSM put them in the dirt again. 4 more kills, no more casualties again. It is going to be Baron on the side of TSM. They'll be wearing purple.
They can burn it, put that purple on their backs here. That gold lead forever extending, the bounties forever available to FLYQUEST, but so difficult for them to actually manage to grab up. A different look from TSM this time around.
Yeah, and the next thing to look forward to is the arrival of the Dragon Soul. With Baron-empowered recalls, TSM are going for the reset here, and you see they've kept Maple focusing on these objectives. You know, the win cons here for TSM, getting those dragons stacking very, very early on in the game so they could have access to this soul so quickly. 10,000 gold lead on top of the objective focus. And when you're playing Vi, it's actually good not to take a lot of the early kills and get your carries more of this money. So, so much here going right in this game for TSM.
FLYQUEST starting to get a little bit of power to try and contest that, working into some of their second items, but you can see that that power from the TSM side is still difficult to overcome. Lots of bounties on them, lots of full completed items, lots of meeting here in the jungle.
Careful!
FLYQUEST sticking around, going in it with the Yumi ult. You target Philip here, who gets so many resources drawn onto them, which means JOSEDEODO is left in his lonesome on the opposite side, flashing away from the fight, getting a stun up onto Philip. He goes under the turret. Spica eventually finishes off Jose in a way that he can't continue the impact. Maple out of stasis, gets blasted down. Johnson, he's got that power now, but it gets stopped by instinct. Philip, nice and healthy once again, but it feels like FLYQUEST are getting corralled through. Even with the tanking of the shots onto Spica, he's not afraid of the tower. They want to finish off FLYQUEST, and they manage to push them back enough. They take down the inhibitor turret, they take down an inhibitor now, and have their way across this base.
Oh my goodness, yeah, TSM gonna run it in. That's gonna be game number 1. Maple does go down, but it is only Takui and Afro Moon left. They get to pick up the minions here. TSM will reset. They let FLYQUEST think about what they've done, but that's not the case this game. Then you get the Zeri chase down, stacking up the ult all the way into base.
There's just such a clunkiness. Oh no, and right back into the action as soon as we come back. You see Philip surrounded by all of that red of TSM, and you know that he's not long for this world. Takui on the opposite side throws out a charm, but it doesn't connect. And TSM, as they dodge these skill shots, no way to draw them in for FLYQUEST. Their frontliner is down. Their biggest, beefiest member to try and offer them that protection is no longer here. And the wave is pushing in as well with those 2 inhibitors that were previously worked upon. TSM, full control of this game.
Yeah, and there are Baron and Elder Dragon on the map. A lot of times, too, when you are in the beginning of a best-of-5 series like this, and you have it wrapped up, there's 0% chance that you want to take a risk, and it's actually more beneficial just to take everything else on the map and hammer it home into your opponents, just how far ahead you are and how hard you smash them. So they'll take the Baron. Elder Dragon is actually coming up as well in 15 seconds. I don't think they'll go that far and wait around and go grab that. With the Baron buff, they can push in on the last remaining inhibitor. Top lane short to follow.
How long do they want this initial portion of the party to keep on going? And it looks like they want to slam an end to it. Take down that 3rd inhibitor. Welcome in double the supers. FLYQUEST starting to continuously get corralled, and you have to worry about what Instinct can do and that damage output when set up by the rest. They do get a knock-up onto Solo, who hops right on out. Vi into the backline again. Root and into stasis Takui goes, so he can back off with the rest of the team. And nobody killed just yet, but just look at the pressure and look at the waves coming through. TSM, they have no reason to back off of this. Again, in they go, slamming away from Solo with the ultimate. Get a resurrect here from the GA. Answered with another stopwatch here from Jose. And even with the TPs coming in the end, this is an exposed Nexus for TSM. They see the end of the game in their sights, and they take the first game of the series.
TSM methodical in this game. The opener to the series. Nicely played.